Hello, everyone, and welcome back for another episode of Empowering Intuitives Talk Show. And I'm your host, Reverend Dr. Michelle Walker. And we are live on A1R Psychic Radio and Moonstruck TV. So, this week, I don't know about you guys, but this energy is amping up. It has been powerful. And, we're coming on to a full moon. It's a super moon. And a lot of people talk about doing moon rituals, right? And I got some people going, what is that? And why are we doing this? Why do we talk about this? I'm not a witch or I'm not this. And people don't really understand. So I wanted to talk briefly about that. So let's think about the moon. And it has a very powerful effect on the earth, right? Think about what it does to the waves and the tides and how it really has an ebb and flow. And it just does shift everything, right? So remember, our physical bodies are mostly made of water. So it's very understandable that the moon has a push pull, ebb and flow with us, and our energies can be affected by it. So full moons are a really good time for us to learn how to do self care. And a lot of empaths are hypersensitive to the moons. And I've talked about this before and about using moonstones and things like this that really kind of help ground and balance us. But it's so much more than that. So, full moon rituals basically is a way for people to engage with nature and to understand themselves on a deeper level. And it's also a great time to learn how to do better self care. And don't we all need that? We tend to think of everybody else and just give, but we don't always take good care of ourselves. So the full moons, it's really a great time for us to do that. So we could be clearing things like the full moon is about letting go, right? And this could be emotional, it could be physical, it could be spiritual. This is a good time. I like to clean house. And that can be physically in your house, that can be the emotional clearing house. And it's also, when we come into the new moons, that's about manifesting and really just learning how to take better care of ourselves and manifesting good self care. But if we're doing good self care on a daily basis, and it can be very simple things, right? We learn how to handle stressors better because we are a little bit more balanced. We're a little bit more touched in with nature, and we can offset some of the stressors that we find in the natural world, right? So, we talk about grounding. Of course, going outside, being in your bare feet, is so, so important. If you have hardwood floors, walk on those. Get outside in that grass as much as you can, dig in the dirt, whatever you got to do to ground. The other thing is like tuning into nature and, sitting in nature, whatever that is for you, if it's your garden, if it's a special place that you really enjoy, just being able to be calm and be centered, it can bring so much clarity and it can help you hear your own divine team that's trying to help you. Of course, we're going to talk about meditating, right? These are all good self care things, perfect to do during the full moons. And meditation helps you with being more introspective and it helps you recalibrate, right? So that's vital. Deep breathing is another wonderful thing because that can help you purge the emotions and help you reset that. The other good thing, keeping a journal, right? And really focusing on what you want to let go of. Writing it down is very powerful. It's a very, very powerful thing. Don't underestimate journaling. And especially when you're at like the full moon, maybe you've identified some patterns of behavior that you really are like, man, this isn't working for me anymore. I got to find a better way. So maybe that's what you want to let go of in this full moon. Maybe it's a relationship or somebody in your life and you're like, you know what? I just can't do this anymore. Maybe you need to look at that. Maybe it's your own pattern behavior and you think maybe you have addictions. Maybe you have just this negative self loop going on in your head. Maybe there's all these kind of things that you really want to let go of. Journaling can help you really identify what that is. And once you identify it, then it's a lot easier to then start making steps in a positive direction, right? The other thing, attitude of gratitude, that shifts everything, right? That can help amplify the positive and all of the things that you have going right in your life. And you can even be grateful for some of the challenges, right? And of course, I'm going to talk about eating healthy and trying to really, this is a great time to purge, detox, cleanse the body, right? We're letting go of things. So this is always a great time for you to um, do like a juice cleanse or fasting or something like this. Just give your body the good, positive nourishment that it desperately wants, right? The other good thing, now we're coming to an ending of the cycle, right? As we come to the full moon. So this is a good time to tie up loose ends. If you have other things going on, you have a lot of unfinished business, to-do list, those kind of things, you need to tie up loose ends so that you can make room for the things that you're trying to manifest, right? And one of my favorite things that they talk about is dancing, right? Get that physical body moving. You wonder why, in ancient times, that the tradition for full moon dancing actually is very powerful to expel some of the stored up energy and emotions. So there is a reason behind people out there dancing under the full moon, you know? So all of these things are really good self-care that you can do for yourself. Pick what resonates. If you don't like what anything that I've suggested, come up with your own. I'm okay with whatever you're okay with. But we need to do something to be more mindful and set those intentions. So that's what Spirit really wanted us to look at for today. So I hope that you find that helpful. All right, so I think we're going to take some calls tonight and see what kind of messages we can do. I have Alexandre in Quebec, Canada. Are you with us?
Yes, hi.
Well, hello. Thank you so much for calling in. All right, my dear. Did you have a specific area you would like me to look at?
Yeah, something regarding relationship.
Right, we can certainly do that. So I'm pulling a card here. All right. Ooh. So you got a high arcana card. It's called the Awakening. And is this fairy, it has a yin and yang, and it's upside down, and it's saying change the way you're looking at a situation. Embrace your uniqueness and a temporary pause in action. So what Spirit is kind of talking to me about is maybe the way you're going about a relationship. So I don't know if you're in one right now where you're trying to call one to you. You're not in a relationship right now, correct?
No, I'm not in a relationship right now. I've met someone I used to know a long time ago, like in late May. There was a little something between us. She offered us to see each other, but she's kind of confused right now. We're not very sure what she wants to do, so it's been kind of on a hold right now.
Yeah, I feel like there's some strong pull and emotion, but I don't feel like timing is right on it. So maybe just back it up to a friendship with this particular person. Spirit is asking that you really think about what it is that you want. They're asking for you to flip that perspective, right? And you're looking for that I don't want to say that missing puzzle piece, but you really are looking for that complementary yin and yang. And you've had I have a woman in spirit, and it feels like a grandmother energy coming in, and she's talking to me about, she's saying that you tend to find or attract women that have a lot of issues, and you're like the rescuer, if that makes sense.
Yeah, it's kind of my past history in life, I can admit. Yeah.
Yeah. And so she's just bringing this forward for you because she wants you to realize that this is maybe you weren't aware of that pattern because you're just trying to be a good guy, trying to help somebody out. And the women that kind of come into your life have been in more of a victim kind of role, looking for somebody to help rescue them, or you know what I'm talking about here with that kind of dynamic.
Yeah, I very well what you mean.
Okay. And Spirit, and they're just saying that pay attention to this. This is where they want you to shift the perspective. It's a subtle difference between being there and being supportive and encouraging and helping people versus rescuing. And you're looking for a partner that's coming more centered and together, more complementary. Make sense?
Yeah. I
So
just
what they're asking is pay attention to the women that are coming in. If they have a lot of unsettled business and or crises, or really things are on that like really heightened level where they're looking for a rescuer, make that a one of your red flags to pull back. You could be friends, but don't go jumping in to rescue. Offer some guidance, but they're asking that you find a healthier line, because if you're really wanting somebody to be able to be within their own power so that you and them can be in a more enlightened relationship, if you will, where you're much more supportive of each other and it's a better balance of give and take. You understand?
yeah.
So she wanted to bring that pattern for you just to be aware of it. And I feel like now that it's come up, you're going, yeah, and you're like you're thinking back on different relationships, and she's very happy because she wants you to do that. She wants you to really figure out what you want and put some of these like red flags, like the victim and you got to help me, versus how can we help each other? And yes, there's going to be times you need help, she needs help, but you know what they're trying to say. Write a list. They're actually wanting you to write it down and be clear about some things that you're tired of experiencing, like that whole dynamic, and what it is that you really would prefer. I feel like there's a better opportunity towards the end of the year into the beginning of next year, even up into next March, for several people coming into your life, but I feel like not till maybe next spring, till you really find somebody that's going to line up here the way that we were just describing. You may keep, it's almost like the universe is going to put some people in your path for you to see their negative patterns and help you identify that that's not what you're looking for. Sorry to tell you that, but that's what I'm seeing. But there is light at the end of the tunnel. It's a growth period for you. And so try to have a little bit of fun with it. Get out there, date, and try to have some fun, and take it slow as far as, jumping in with both feet. Just take it a little slower and really get to see it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I know. So, well, that kind of answer my question, because I think my biggest concern right now about this girl I was talking to you about is if I was kind of keeping hope, or just like stepping back and just doing my things. And
yeah, and it's not to say that this girl isn't going to be a match maybe in the future, but right now you need to identify where she's sitting with that. But you need to identify what it is that you really want, because you're going to see that some of her stuff, you're not at the same place. And if you're wanting something in a more enlightened relationship, you're going to have to create those boundaries. Be friends, and you could date, you could do things, but just keep it at a level, where it's a healthier place for you right now. But yeah, don't rule it out just yet. But maybe go about how you interact differently, so that you're not, because you tend to jump in with both feet and just go running when you find somebody that you think is a good match. And they're asking for a little bit more caution as you go forward, because you'll see more that way. Make sense?
Yeah, I see that.
Okay. Well, I'm going to leave that with you with so much love, and trust to know that towards spring, the right person and or the right timing comes around. Okay. So have some fun from now until then, and enjoy the process of dating and getting out and about. Okay. I leave that with much love, my dear.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
You're welcome. Have a great night. All right. We have Tamara in Denver, Colorado. Hello, my dear.
Yes.
How are you doing tonight?
I'm doing great. How are you doing?
I'm wonderful. Thank you. Did you have a particular area you would like me to look at?
Um, I don't know. Is maybe that's a hard one. Maybe just like I don't know, like a mediumship or future.
Okay. Well,
Um,
let's see we pulled a card here for you, and this is the 5 of Spring. And this is
Okay.
talking about opposing goals arising from differing opinions, feeling at odds with yourself or others, and overly ambitious people. So they're having a little like tug of war here with each other in these beautiful fields. And, um, I feel like right now, um, so I feel like right now what they're talking about with this is maybe you've had some unsettling feelings coming up. And would you understand that, we're all here on a spiritual journey, and we're all kind of like at time to time, things really deep seated stuff has been coming up more and more for you to heal and let go of. Does that make sense to
Yes.
you? And even
Yes.
some of the things that you thought were completely, you'd already done all of that work are still coming back around. Okay. And
Uh huh.
what is happening is it's helping you see the contrast of where you started with this and your growth along the way. But there's still some unsettled things. And I feel like over the next couple months, um, is your father in spirit? I have a father like energy that's in spirit coming forward.
Um. Yeah. I mean, my dad's still here, but I have an uncle that's passed that was like my dad.
Okay. So, okay, yes. So he's talking about you know, he says you've been through a lot of what he's describing as traumatic things in this lifetime. Would you understand that?
Yeah.
And he says, you have such a big heart and you are so sensitive to your environment. And unfortunately, you've found yourself in a lot of situations that were very traumatic. And he says, he wants you to understand something, that you're not the victim, but this was purposeful for your growth. And as hard and as painful as it was, these things were needed to help shift you and push you forward. He's asking that you
Okay.
really start. There's two particular situations that he's bringing up, and he's talking about you really need to find a place where you can forgive and let go. Whatever you got to do to forgive yourself, to forgive other people, he wants you to really focus on that because he's saying that when he passed over, he had some unfinished business and he doesn't want that for you. He still was working out things when he went back to the other side, and he doesn't want that for you. He wants you to he says you're so close, like you've just been doing the work over and over and you're like thinning those layers, right?
Mhm.
um but it's almost like you have to go through that dark heaviness again to let
I
it go
have
completely.
been.
Yes. And so this is your validation that he is well aware what's going on. He's trying to cheer you on. He's letting you know you're not far from your goal. It may feel like a setback. It's not. He's promising you you're working forward. You're moving in the right direction. So don't give up now. You're too close. These are his words. I feel like he was always your cheerleader, always trying to help guide you and support you in different ways. Would you understand that?
Yes.
And he says, and even when you and your father didn't see eye to eye, he was there for you.
Yes.
And he's saying, he hasn't changed much, but you have learned to allow. Make sense? You've allowed him to
Yes.
be who he is, and you're learning that it doesn't affect who you are anymore. But he says, as a kid, that's a hard one. That's a hard one. But you got past all of that. And I feel like some forgiveness has to go with dad. Would you understand that?
Yeah.
And he's just really imploring you to continue on your path. You're doing really well. He says that, are you looking for a job or some kind of, I feel like there's a shift. He's talking about more
Yeah.
money.
Actually, yeah. I am.
Okay. Have you already interviewed? Because he's talking about there's 2 or 3 different ones. He's saying 2 or 3. There's also good prospects. He's saying 2 or 3 good prospects. And he's just asking that you don't only go towards the money, make sure, because one position, it's almost lateral. One position, it might be more money, but there's a couple aspects that you may not like. And the other one, you think maybe you won't get it, but it's a better fit for you. Put your energy and focus towards that one. You can get that. Okay. So I don't know if it's a better requirement or, if you feel like you don't have enough experience, I don't know what that is, but he's saying, no, trust in yourself and go in that direction. You'll be happier. But I feel like that's coming up here pretty soon. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
He's also cautioning about money. He wants you to save more. He says, I don't know if you were having like internal conflict over maybe not going on vacation or wanting to purchase something versus trying to save money. You've been ping-ponging back and forth. Would you understand?
Yeah.
And he's saying it's okay. You don't have to compare with anybody else. Right now, it's the most important thing he's saying is save a little bit of money. Now, do you smoke?
So bad at. I said, which I'm so bad at.
Yeah. Do you smoke?
Yes.
He's like going, she has to quit smoking. He is saying, look how much money you can save by quitting smoking. So I feel like that's another thing that you've been working on, and you'll try to quit and you'll be heading in a good direction. And then like you get overly stressed and you kind of backslide. But he's saying, this is the time. It's so important. If you don't want to have more breathing issue, you got to stop now. Okay.
Got it.
He's putting his foot down hard on that one.
Yeah, I bet.
Now he's laughing because he goes, when I said that, she went, like a little kid got caught.
Yeah. I believe it.
Yeah, he has a very good sense of humor, and he's chuckling a little bit. But when he needed to make his point, he makes his point harsh, like he can be.
That's
right?
For sure. Yeah.
Yeah. He just wants you to know he loves you so much, and he knows you're struggling, and he just really wanted to push in and let you know that he's still your cheerleader. He's still paying attention to what's going on. He's seeing all of this, and he just wants you to realize it's almost like right behind that veil, right behind that curtain is some of the wonderful things that you deserve. They're coming. So keep moving in a positive direction. Keep yourself in a positive direction. When you want to spiral into sadness, he says you got to pull yourself up and get something positive and focus on it and move in that direction. Okay.
Okay.
He does say something about your car. So I don't know if you were thinking you wanted to buy another car or you wanted to something with your car or getting rid of that.
Oh my God. Yeah.
And he's saying just baby it for a little bit. Next year will be better.
Okay.
Give yourself a little bit of time. You want everything yesterday. And he goes, I get it. I understand. But just take your time, baby it a little bit for now. The next couple months from now to the end of the year, it's about saving money, just being okay with what you have. It's about settle into that for right now. Get yourself lined up in a new position. You can think about it next year towards the end of the year. He's saying November, like the end of the year kind of thing. Perfect time for a vehicle, not this year. So just take it easy. And trust and know things are going to be improving for you. Okay.
Okay. Wow.
I'm going to leave that with you with so much love. Oh, he just loves you so much. He's very, very strong coming forward for you. And now, is he Dad's brother?
Is my dad's brother.
Is that who it is? It's Dad, because he's like he's like
he's my Nino. Like he's my godfather.
Okay, he's poking fun at Dad. Like like I don't know if they like to poke at each other, but he's like poking a little bit, nudging at him, and he's just telling him just to tell Dad I said hi. And He says, I'm watching him too.
I bet he is. That was his baby
All right.
brother. So
Yes. Aw. Well, I'm going to leave that with much love, my dear. Thank you so much for
thank
calling
you. I
in. You have a great
appreciate you
night.
so much.
Oh, you're very welcome. Very welcome. All right, guys. Well, that is another episode, and thank you so much for tuning in. And I hope that you all embrace this full moon. And this is about things about the collective will be coming forward for us to focus on, and how we fit into the collective, and what can we do to support ourselves in our community. So those are the kind of things that are coming with this full moon. So get centered, do some of those self-care things so that you can be more introspective and recalibrate a little bit, okay? Have a fantastic week, and I will see you guys back here next week. Namaste.